Subscribe to our channel.
Welcome critters to the second part of this video series where we will learn how to create a card animation step by step. In this part we will be creating a character and we will learn how to rig it up. We start sketching our character, and this character could be whatever you want. Choose a bright color from your palette to sketch your character. This will be very handy later on. Remember to draw every part of your character in a separate layer. This will allow you to animate it later. Once we are done with our sketch, we start to redraw our character to clean it up. Next, we open a new layer above our sketch layer to redraw each part. Make sure you have a head, two arms, a body, two legs, and if your character has a tail, all of them in a separate layer. Next, we select the layer at the bottom in the timeline. Once selected, we will click on the layer above. Click the plus sign to create a new layer, and then choose that layer and move it below. This is going to be our color layer. Then we choose a color and we apply it with the bucket. Next, we open a new layer for our shadows and lights. Make sure that this layer is below the sketch layer and above the color layer. That's the way we ensure that the light and the shadow is shown in our drawing. Once all the three layers are done, you can merge the layers together. This is going to be a repetitive task since you have to follow the same steps with every layer. Alright, we're moving along. We can see that we make some progress and everything is running smoothly. This is the time where we could start adjusting our layers and moving them accordingly. You can see that my hat layer is behind the head. I have to move that layer above the head, that way it will show. We keep on painting and applying lights and shades to every single layer. If your legs and your arms are symmetrical, you can duplicate the layer, that way you don't have to repeat the same step twice. I decided to draw a couple of mouths just in case I want my character to look like he's talking. All of our layers are done and we're moving into hierarchy. But first, remember to name each of your layers. We will start with our car and we will be positioning the car in the hierarchy column. Follow below the car the tire number 1 and tire number 2. We position the tires under the car, that way they are linked together. Now we pick our character's body, and under the body we will drop our head, our arms, our legs, and the tail. This will ensure that all of the limbs or extremities are attached to the body. In the case of the mouths, remember that all of the mouths belong to the head, so you have to position them below the head. Make sure that your character and the car are not linked at all. Now we start positioning our pivot points. You will have to adjust every single pivot point in every layer. Pivot points are like the joints in your character. You can see how the position of the pivot point alters the way that the extremity will move. For the arms, I position the pivot point where the shoulder should be. I will do the same with the legs, positioning the pivot points close to the body. Once we are done positioning all of the pivot points in all of the extremities, we started to move into the vehicle, and we will be positioning the pivot points that belongs to the vehicle. The pivot point that belongs to the tires have to be positioned in the center that will ensure that the tire will rotate like a normal tire. We create a group layer for the car. Select the 3 car layers and drop them in that folder layer. Remember to rename that layer car layer. We create another group layer, this time is for our character. We will select all of the character layers and we will be dropping them in the folder layer, and we will be renaming that layer as well. Our character and card are done, and we are ready to move to the next step. On part 3 of this video series, we will be creating a background for this animation. I hope you find this video helpful. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It will help us greatly. And I will see you on part 3 of this series. Thanks for watching.